I love making something out of nothing. I'm not trained, but I am brave and determined. Of course, I could hire a professional, but DIY first. Hey guys, it's March 15th, and I was in the process of editing the video that I'm trying to get live today. So hopefully you're seeing a video sometime today. But I wanted to pop in and say that I did all the wrong things with the seeds. Not all the wrong things. I started them early, and I didn't know until maybe last week. You know, that was in February. I started January and February. And I think last week I saw a video about epic gardening that was about 2 months too late for me. And it showed me what I did wrong. So at least I can plan better next year. The problem is you don't know what you don't know. And so I didn't really know what to look for. There's so much information. It can be kind of like information overload, but he did a really good video about how to start seeds, and I'm gonna follow that plan next year. There were two things that stood out to me besides timing, because timing is definitely one thing that I could have done better with some of the seeds. But the other thing is lighting. The lights that I have are really too far away from the seeds for them to get the full benefit. So that's one thing I want to correct for next year. And the other thing that I realized while I was editing the footage is that the dirt was dry on the first batch anyway. I mean, it was bone dry. And I did correct that for the second round, where I wet the soil before I put it into the containers and added the seeds and stuff. But the first whole batch was bone dry when I used it. So I kind of realized as I was going that I was pouring water on it, but it wasn't actually absorbing the water. So I did try to fix that for the second go round. So that's definitely something that I'll be paying attention to next year. Hey Purdy, I'll pay attention to that for next year. But so this year I'm either going to have to get more plants from the nursery than I thought I would, start seeds outside, which I'm gonna do a combination of both. So we'll just see how it turns out. The gardening is still gonna happen. We've been getting a lot of rain, so it's kind of prevented me from being able to get back in the backyard and actually prep the soil and everything. So, but we did get the tiller fixed, so that's ready to go. And we're just waiting on, I'm actually trying to beat a storm right now that's coming through today. So hopefully maybe next weekend I can get back out here and actually get the soil ready and get the garden going. But what I'm going to do today, if I can beat the weather, I want to tend to this compost bin because it's been totally neglected, and I don't even know if the stuff in here is any good anymore. So, and I'm actually not quite sure what I need to do, but I think I'm gonna try to empty at least one side out and start over. And there may be something in here that's usable, but when I open it up, like there's really nothing is really breaking down, because it's all like completely dry, and it's not supposed to be dry. So that's what I'm gonna do today before the storm sets in. And then I'm gonna get back to editing and see if I can get this video live today. Not this video, the one I'm working on. So hopefully you will have seen that on the 15th and not later in the week, but I'm working on getting it going. I got a little burned out, so I have kind of been going at a slower pace. Plus the projects, the outdoor projects, the weather is kind of hindering things. And as far as the garage goes, whatever, I'll get back to that eventually. So yeah, I'm gonna send to this compost bin, and then I'm gonna get back to work. And hopefully in like a few seconds, you're gonna be seeing more footage of the backyard garden getting prepped and ready to go. But we'll see. To refresh the compost bin, I collected food scraps over the winter, and I also had some old potting mix and stuff like that, as well as chopped up leaves. The leaf blower that we have It's also a vacuum, and when it vacuums up the leaves, it mulches them and breaks them down into smaller pieces. And so I collected a lot of that when we cleared the yard. And so what I'm doing here is I'm taking the food scraps that have been in the freezer all winter. This is a leftover pulp from us using the juicer. And so we just collected all of those food scraps, and they're perfect because they're already broken down into small pieces. And so they should do really good in the compost. And I tried to mix everything up, kind of layering it with the food scraps, the soil, and the dry leaves. And so we'll just see how this method works, and I'll try to make sure I tend to it, stirring it up at least once a week and then adding water as needed. Today is the day we're going to go ahead and process the land. We think it's dried out enough. We're going to go ahead and process the land today and try to get some plants or some seeds into the ground. So, and we're doing this on a budget. So let me say, I went to the garden center. I went to get some kind of fertilizer or something like that. So they had some soil conditioner that was like $5 a bag. So I got about 5 of those, and I think that'll be good enough to kind of, mix in with the soil a little bit. I don't think this is bad soil because the weeds don't have any problem growing over here. So we're going to put that down and till that into the earth after we kind of get some of the grass and stuff out. And then also I'm going to put a combination of weed barrier and cardboard down. So I've been collecting cardboard over the winter, but I didn't have enough for the whole area. But the garden center, the nursery, they were processing a shipment or something, so they had this big pile of cardboard, so I was able to get quite a bit of free cardboard, and I'm gonna see how far that goes, and then if I need to go back and get some more, maybe they will still have it sitting out and I can go just grab some more, because they were just, I guess they were gonna throw it away, and I just asked, are y'all giving that away? They were like, take as much as you want. So got some free cardboard that we'll use as a weed barrier, particularly wherever the plants are going to be. And I have a little bit of the fabric kind of weed barrier left over from last year that I'm going to try to see if I have enough to do like a little pathway down the middle. So we'll just see how far that goes. But that's the plan for today. And then also later today, if we have time, I ran across a place where I can get free mulch. It's just sitting out with the sign that says free. Two big piles. So we may try to see if we can go by there and get some free mulch to use for the garden as well. So this is like best case scenario on a budget, particularly since my seed expedition didn't quite go as planned. So I'm going to be planting a lot more in the actual ground than I originally intended. So this is kind of an experiment. We're going to see how this goes.
avocados?
He got some seeds in there, but you know, it takes years for avocado trees to grow. That's a tree.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a tree. It takes a long time. And they say if you grow it from the seed, it may not even make fruit. You're supposed to get like buy the tree already growing.
Want some of that mint?
Some what?
Some of that mint?
Mint? You want some mint?
Nah. I heard they predators?
Oh, invasive.
Invasive.
Yeah, you grow them in containers, like in pots and stuff, so that they don't take over.
Yeah.
Because they'll take over.
You got some mint all the way over there. That's scary to me though.
Well, when we moved in, they had planted mint in the front flower bed. It took me a minute to get rid of it. I just pulled it up. Whenever I saw it, I pulled it up. Because I don't like mint. Corey like mint.
Like to eat?
I don't like it, period. I don't like the taste of it.
I can feel you on that. I think people are weird who you eat mint ice cream, yo.
Mint chocolate chip.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Disrespecting.
All right, y'all. So the next step in the process, we're going to put down some soil conditioner. Trying to do this on a budget. So there are more expensive options you can purchase, like cow manure, chicken manure, things like that, Miracle Grow stuff, and you know, stuff like that. But I'm just going to use the soil conditioner. I don't think the soil is bad soil, but I guess we'll see. But we're just going to spread this out. I only got 5 bags and it's a pretty big area, so I don't know if that's going to be enough, but we're going to just use what we got and try to just sprinkle it around.
2 shovels.
And then I'm going to cover that up with cardboard. And I think I'm supposed to wet the cardboard after it goes down. And then come back tomorrow and start planting. So that's the plan for today. So I guess we better get to work.
Real life is needed today.
Oops. Put the dirt up on the house.
Huh?
I put the dirt up onto the house.
That girl hangs so off. No, you ain't used to pitch nothing.
Like I said, I can't have nothing too complicated, because if I have to do too much to it, it's not gonna last. It's not gonna live.
Too many steps. Yeah.
Cause I'm too busy. I don't have time. So I can't have nothing high maintenance. So can't be out here chopping weeds and stuff.
Yeah.
Might have to do some, you know. But this whole area, nah, it won't be done. So whatever I can do to up front to try to make it a little easier, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, it's day 2. What I'm going to do this morning is I want to kind of create a grid system and kind of map out sections, and then I can kind of plan what's going to go in each section. That'll also kind of give me an idea of how many little areas I have, as well as mapping out specifically where I want the walkway or pathways to be and where I want to put my garden bench that I'm going to reinstall. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I bought some twine from Walmart, and I'm sure I have some scrap wood that I can use as stakes. Also, at some point in the near future, I'll need to get some more of this weed barrier, and I'm thinking about what kind of barrier to put around the front perimeter, because I think I want to make it more defined than this no dig weed barrier that I'm using. So I kind of want to use that more on the interior, and then put an actual border, some kind of border around that side and along the front. Maybe even to define the seating area that I think I am going to reinstall and maybe even expand. So that's what I'm going to do right now. We ran out of cardboard yesterday, so if I can find more cardboard, that'll be great, and I'll kind of fill in the additional areas. But once I get the grid going, I'll kind of have a better idea of what to do. Now, you don't have to use cardboard, but I'm trying to avoid having to battle against a bunch of weeds. So I'm just going to map this thing out, and then I will kind of go from there. Okay, I have the general perimeter outlined. The area over on that side is going to be like patio, and I'm just going to do a mulch one for now, but eventually I think I'm going to upgrade that to something like more of a hardscape, and then all of the rest of this will be the garden area. So what I'm going to do next is measure out, I think 3-foot sections. So like 4 3-foot sections, run a line all the way across that, and then I can start gridding it out. I may just do 4-foot, do like 3 by 4 foot sections starting out, and then I can kind of subdivide those areas based on whatever I'm going to be planting in that section. So I'm going to go ahead and run the long lines first, and then I'll do the shorter ones in between, and that'll kind of also define out specifically where the walkway will go. I need to pick up some more weed barrier for that, and if I can get my hands on some more cardboard, I'll fill in this front area. I'll fill in the gaps that are missing, but if I can't, then I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just put mulch down and see how that does. At least the bigger area will be covered somewhat. So that's what I'm going to do next. And then once I get all of those sections partitioned off, I think I should be good to go. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. You know, a lot of times I start thinking that I kind of go overboard with stuff. I be doing too much. I make stuff harder than it needs to be. I don't know if that's what I'm doing with this garden here, but me making this grid system, I feel like it's going, I think my future self is going to thank me for taking the time to do this when I'm not having any problems figuring out what's what and what's where. So I don't know, maybe I'm doing too much, but I think it's gonna work, and I need to be very, very careful because I see that the lines are kind of creating a trip hazard, but I think once I get everything kind of sorted out and I get the pathways marked out, then I can kind of cut out the strings that would be across the walkway, and I think that'll make it easier if we just stick to the walkways to get around in the garden. I don't think it'll make a difference, and I do plan to kind of over time transition the string into more permanent divisions. So we'll just see. This is what I'm doing right now. So let me continue, and I'm kind of checking my spacing and everything as I go because I want to try to make it as square as possible or as symmetrical as possible, but we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so not sure if this is showing up on camera, but this is where I originally put the stake to end the seating area or patio area, and this is giving me my 4-foot section. So I think I'm going to move this whole line in line with this, and so like I can have kind of square-ish rectangular shapes here that match. So everything is even. So I'm going to move this over and all of the rest of those over in line with this this stake here, and then that will separate. This will be the separation between the two sections. You'll notice that there is no stake by this flag because well, I ran out of paint stirrers. That's the real reason. But I decided this area in here is where I'm going to put my bench. So there will be a walkway down here in the middle, and then there's going to be a second walkway in here somewhere to lead to the bench that I think will go in that kind of middle section. Not here, not there on the walkway, but on the other side of the walkway, if that makes sense.